So she called me to ask me how my chia chocolate pudding, or like, it's not pudding. What is it called? I don't remember, but it might be pudding. Chia chocolate pudding turned out, because I had asked her for a recipe yesterday, but I didn't make it today because I was flipping and because my arm hurts. So I did a lot today though. I cleaned up a lot. I got a lot of my work stuff organized. I realized that I'm pretty good with setup with all my stuff in Amazon. Now I'm working on like a big package to get sent. Because I can send that by ship, and then it costs a lot less to ship, but it takes like 3 months, 3 to 6 months, but it usually takes around 3 months, sometimes even less. I guess that depends on when they get it ship filled. So then I can send a package for 3 months from now, because I have a little bit of a wind break in between there, but I also want to finish my site, but I don't know exactly what to do with my site, and that's why I keep procrastinating around it. So maybe I should just put up like a temporary site or something. I don't know. Because I have the shop almost built. And I think it's that I'm afraid to get stuck in front of the computer for some reason. I don't know. Maybe while he is in Vipassana, I can ground myself even further and quit running. So I feel like I need that break from this whole thing. I just need a break. It's like getting over a big hump and then just needing a break. But this is big. This is big. It's like there's no comparison there. There's like, I don't know. It's just like, okay. I still feel like we're play partners for some reason, but it feels like my field options opened, because all of a sudden I'm seeing him as like a man child. It's like, okay, dude, rear, what's that all about? It's just like boyish, loinish. And then I start feeling like, okay, he's doing that on purpose almost. Like, because I was questioning myself on the way home. I was thinking, like, what is the lesson in this? What is the lesson in this? Like, because I couldn't feel my emotions right away. And then I'm like, what is the lesson in this? Is it that I let go and like push him away? And then I started feeling yeah, push him away. And then I started thinking, okay, pushing him away is from the ego. Yeah, I'm hurt. So now you're not my friend anymore. Where? It's like stupid. It's like, oh, you can't have a girlfriend. If you have a girlfriend, I'm not going to be your friend anymore. What kind of friend is that? And besides, I don't feel that way. I just feel like, okay, he's my friend, and that's kind of weird. That's like learning a new thing about your friend. It's like, I don't know. He told me before, but that just looked like, he told me a couple times before that he likes this woman young, but seeing it, but there's a big, huge difference between hearing it and seeing it. When you see it, you get a visual of it, and it just like, okay, that's not my ball game. That's weird. Um, so building up, I was talking about the boyfriends to build up to this next part. So what happened today, the juicy part. So what happened earlier today, like dun dun dun, before the hot springs. And this morning, right? It was like, it wasn't even 10 yet. No, it was 10 o'clock. At 10 o'clock. So after my cheating boyfriend, that I figured out that sexuality connects you telepathically, and if your partner is out doing things, it's like I could feel him in my womb. And then after that, I met a really nice man from the settlement over, and we went out for about 7 months. And I really got over Dudesley. Uh, I had gone through like 3 months of the breakup, and then I wasn't quite over it. But then I met my other friend, my other boyfriend, my new boyfriend, and I was taken with him. He's really attractive. He has this like, he's got this like sternity about him, but it's not sternity. It's more like a seriousness. But he also has a little bit of a like, stern, and he's like really super attractive. I think he's also kind of like a woman magnet. Women like him. I did a video with him. Um, I only have good things to say about him, so I did a video with him, a few videos. If you look back from like almost when I first started, there are a couple of, there's like some videos that I did before I started talking about the twin flame journey and the spiritual awakening and really getting deep. I did a few videos about different places, and him and I did a video together where we went up on this mountain overlooking Jordan, and we went into this bunker. And we were talking about it. He was all serious and trying to tell about the place, and I was like, "Rare, rare." He sounds like so stiff, but he was so cute. It was stiff cute, I have to say. So those videos are like way back at the beginning of my feed if you go back. Um, so you can see who he is. So today, and that's how I also knew that I was feeling telepathically. That's what I want to finish, is that I could feel him telepathically too. And I guess because him and I are like, we're different. There's something very, very stable and comfortable. I feel like he provides me like this cocoon to lay in, like this warm cocoon. He's just sweet, and he's not jealous, and he's not in a relationship now. He's by himself, and he's been going through like a ton of healing. And every once in a while, we meet up and we sit and we talk. And he's super smart. And he's got like this analytical mind. So did Ezra. Ezra had an analytical mind. He also worked in high tech. He was old for high tech. He was like when we were going out, and this was quite a few years ago. Now he was already 57, so he must be like 60 something. So there was a difference in age there, but not that far out of whack. I'm getting all sorts of subliminal messages from the past. I'm getting all sorts of things that he said before that are connecting to this moment. It's like he planted these seeds in my mind and waited for them to be like watered. Because all of these things that he said in the past are like tick, 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 connecting. That's this twin flame thingy. It's like this telepathic, I don't know. Like I get what he says. I get what he's saying. I get exactly what he's saying, and it's connecting to this point in time. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like I can't even like explain it in my mind. I forget anyway what it was. Now I'm just trying to remember what it was. But I got these subliminal messages, and I got them emotionally. So that's what's important, because once you get that something emotionally, it heals it. I got it in my mind, and I got it emotionally. Like, vroom, it came in. I could feel it. Where your emotions go, and something is like fixed in there. It's like, I guess that's the healing, where you emotionally can just let something go like that. It's like a click. It's like tick. See, that's why I say he's the Messiah, because I'm sure there are so many other people getting messages from him like that, because he speaks the language of energy. He speaks the language of emotion. He knows how to send you the vibe of something without saying it, but you get the vibe and you have like this inner understanding of what the lesson is that he's giving. I guess that's like the telepathic part, like that video that he sent me, and I figured, connected a whole bunch of dots together. The night before, he was fishing. I saw him fishing. I knew he was fishing when he was fishing. And then in the morning, he sent me that message of, you have to be so disgusting. And then I feel disgusted with him. It's like he knew I was going to feel disgusted with him. And kind of like it's different leagues. It's different leagues. I'm not in that league over there. I'm already like I'm over here, dude. And it's so funny because a couple days ago I had this really nice man in Facebook send me a message after I put up a photo. I think of the water running in Nakhlamud where I always go. The water's running, and I put up a picture in Facebook, and then he wrote me privately. It seems like almost every time I put up a picture, I get like a few people writing me that offering dates or something. So it's like fishing. It's like if I want to date, if I want to like stir the water, I can put up a picture like of somewhere of me in nature or something, and then I get like a few options. But lately I've been on this with my head stuck in my butt on this, going around in circles and this twin flame crapola thing. Sheesh. Sheesh. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. And it just keeps on getting like, it's just so silly. It just keeps on getting like deeper and deeper, but funkier and funkier and funkier. Like, show up at the hot springs. He's there with like this girl. It's like, wait. It's like, I'm laughing because of the absurdity of this stupid twin flame journey. It's so stupid. I mean, look at that. That is just like so stupid. I don't know. He was looking at me. I wonder if he like picked up on my like what? I wonder if he saw himself through my eyes. Like that's like I see me through his eyes, right? That's like the mirror thing, right? I wonder I don't know. It's just like coming into my mind that he probably did see himself through my eyes, and it was probably quite an eye opener. That's what I'm gonna write on this. That's what I'm gonna call this video, eye opener. I'm writing it down so I remember. Eye opener on twin flame journey. I don't know if the weed is like progressing. I don't know, but it just like once you get through the emotions, it just kind of funny. It just he was like, what was I getting my panties all tied up in a bunch for? There was nothing there. Like it couldn't be. It's like clink. Look, I want to show you this. The light here is like, but this is something that I painted a few years ago. I really like it. And I called it emotions. See, it goes from like all the different shades, but you see the little people? You see like there's like everywhere, there's little people. But they're like emotions going, but you see them in all the different places, like even here. When you look really close, you see they're everywhere. They're going in the different directions. They're coming out. They're going in. They're moving, and they're moving throughout all of the colors. Like these are all like the emotions, and they're kind of like ghosty. And then it goes through like the spectrum here. Like there's blue, red, and yellow, which are like the three main colors, like the three prime colors. So I painted it with all of the prime colors, and there's purples in there, and I really like how here it has like a depth, Anyway, in the move, it got ripped up here. So I want to try to fix it. I still won't I don't want to throw it away. I'm going to try to fix it maybe from the back. I really like that one. It's emotions. I want to turn that light off. So, so I'm realizing a lot of things, and that's why I'm glad that I smoked. See, I was, to be honest with you, I didn't know what to expect when I was going to smoke, but then I told myself I am not going to flip out because the last time that I smoked, I flipped out. And then I thought to myself, like, oh, what? I'm smoking because of him. He's got my happiness is dependent on him. If he's out that, then then I fall from smoking because I can't deal with it. And then I thought to myself, well, wait a minute, you're a big girl. This twin flame journey, it's not about smoking or not smoking. It's about the rising and the ascending. It's not like, okay, hold out on smoking and you're going to become righteous. It's not like that. It's more like you're going along this path. Everything is divinely guided. And I feel like in the smoking, it's also a plant medicine, just like the ashwagandha, and just like tobacco, and just like ayahuasca, and just like the San Pedro, and all of those are plant medicines given to us for the spirit, for the spiritual awakening. And they were like outlawed because society wants their workers to be workers, because if everybody was on a spiritual awakening there wouldn't be any factory workers, and so those things are outlawed and restricted. And even if it's not like it's an archetype, it's like something that over the generations it became like the norm. So when you look at it you think, oh, that's normal, but when you first look at where it started from, you know it's very it's a when you look at it like in a way of the evil controlling the world almost, like darkening, there are options for spirit medicine that awakens you, that takes you to the next level, that you can do work with, spiritual work with, which is what I'm doing here. Being able to alchemize all this and be able to like really understand what it is that I'm feeling. I really worded it out here. And that's what it is. You come into your self-worth where you're already sure of yourself, and something like that doesn't threaten you. Something like that it doesn't threaten your place. You're like a entity within yourself, and that doesn't reflect anything about me. I'm perfectly worthy. That's not my playing field, and it's as easy enough as that. It's like, if that's your playing field, then dude. And so coming back, connecting back to what I was saying about the boyfriends, coming back again. So I went out with him, and with him, I also felt him telepathically, and something was off between us. Like we weren't a perfect match. And so it gets you out of balance because you can always feel this other person. You're connected to them. When you start really getting into a place of this awakening, you're more emotional guided than, you're intuitive. You're open up to this other realms where you can feel somebody. If you're connected to them sexually, you can feel them. They've been in your space. The energy has exchanged. His life force, because everything that he gives to me is a life force. His life spark came into me, so it connects you. That's like sending his actual energy into me, right? Because the sperm are alive. They have sparks in them, and that life came from him. So it's like he's putting his life into me. And then what happens when those sperm die after a few days? Their all of their energy is let out of them, right? Because they release their energy when they die, right? So all of that energy is in me, in my womb. And so after him and I separated, I did, and after I have been celibate. Celibate, is that a word? Is that the word where you haven't slept with anybody for a year and a half now or more. I think since I think it was in, I want to say May. And I kind of gave each of those last two men a bon voyage. Gave them bon voyage. We had a bon voyage. Gave them. So then I went in and I went into deep meditation and I could feel the presence of everybody that I had ever had intercourse with in me. Like that they left little parts of them, and some of them were dark, some of them were black, and some of them were gray, and some of them were lighter. I could see them like it was like they were moving in my womb and in this deep, deep meditation, but they were going around in circles. And I released them and I could see them leaving and I released them with love to go back. It was like I felt like I was setting them free. It was like I felt like I was setting myself free, but I was also setting them free because those people that I slept with left part of themselves in me. That means that we stayed connected in some way on the higher levels. And that for sure held back their complete life force. They left part of their life with me. And so I could actually see like these parts of, and how did I get this figured out? Because I figured that I could feel him telepathically because we had been intimate and our bodies had merged, that part of myself was in him, but a part without the consciousness, because the consciousness is stuck in this body. But emotionally, it was going through everything that it was going through over there and sending back the signal to the big body on what was going on. And that's how I could feel him telepathically. It's like part of me stayed with him. And so I started calling all my parts back to me. I started like releasing them and pulling them towards me in this deep, deep, I could see it energetically. I could see like the different parts of me, and the different parts of me all looked the same. The ones that left me all looked different. But I felt like I purified my womb, like I let everything out. All of the men that I had ever slept with, and it was like bringing all my power back to me. It was like this cleansing, but it was like a shift. It was like bringing back and sending out. And I felt like afterwards, like my womb, I can feel it now as I'm connecting to it. Like my womb felt sparkly, like kind of like butterflyish, like brand new, like renewed. It felt like pure and clean, like I had been carrying a whole bunch around with me. And now I was like washed. And I'm sure that those men were happy to get those parts back, especially the one, because he left a lot with me and I left a lot with him. So by me pulling myself back out of him, I'm sure that it released him from me quite a bit. Whatever else was stuck was probably stuck in his mind. But the sending away, and some of them were small and some of them were big. It was like they were different sizes, and also the ones that were coming to me were different sizes. Like I left different parts of me with the different people, but now I feel completely clean and clear in all of those places. Like with all of my exes, there is no, like I don't feel like that connection, like that bind. I feel like a bonded friendship, but not like a bond that comes from your lower chakra, like any sort of jealousy or wanting to latch on, or it's like pure clean friendship, pure clean. Like my ex-boyfriend that lives right over here, he was telling me about relationships that he's had, and I was able to, I like what I was able. I just listened. It was like interesting to me to know what was going on with him, but I didn't feel any kind of like jealousy or, and really didn't feel it. Like nothing, nothing. Like I was genuinely wanted to hear his story because it was interesting how they had met and then they had mismet it was genuinely like interesting to me. It wasn't like, And I felt like when I talked to him, when I went over and I cried to him a little bit about the twin flame journey, I felt like with him it was also released like that. That it was also, and he also compliments me a lot. And he thinks I'm sexy. He's told me that before. Like really sexy. So like that's a huge compliment. And so to get to the finally all of that was to swing right back around to this one little point that I was going to make. This is I was seeing how my mind works like in all those loops. If you watch the one I did about ADHD, you'll see I talk about that tree thing where you get off onto different little patterns and then you have to come back. At least I'm remembering where to come back to, kind of. I imagine that there's all sorts of videos that I have half told stories. And I know a lot of times I was watching a video that I did earlier that I saw myself start making a point and I just start talking about something else in the middle. And my kids told me before that I do that. And I didn't think that I did do it, but I saw it like plain sight that mid sentence, but I did come back and I did finish what I was going to say in the beginning. It's just I went off on a little thing before I let out the last two words of the sentence. I just think, like my mother says, it's because your brain runs so much faster than your mouth. My brain is already way over there, and my mouth still can't keep up. I just checked if this is still recording. Oh, this is a good one. This is a good one. See, this is the second movie, so I'm thinking maybe I'll just leave it in two parts so it doesn't overwhelm people like, what, an hour to watch? And I'll let the first one end right there where my mother comes on the phone. And then whoever gets that far in it can come to the part two. And so this is going to be the part two. And so I'm mentioning that there's a lot of good stuff in the first one, so you'll go back and watch the first one where I tell about what happened tonight. And now I just feel like I'm keep on going because I like what's coming out. I like the realizations that I'm having. But I'm wondering if I came full circle. Okay. So I came back to what happened this afternoon before what happened this morning. So this morning, first of all, I woke up this morning in my mind that I just wanted a hug. And straight away my mind went to my friend, my ex-boyfriend from over here. I thought, wow, maybe I'll call him and see if he's like, after what my twin pulled with his that video and thing that he sent me, I knew what he was up to. I knew it. And so that's why I was crashing. And then I thought, well, maybe I'll go over and get like it's like consoled. He's so sweet and he has the warmest hug. And maybe we could do like I was like, you know what I mean? But not all the way. I wouldn't have slept with him, but I would have gone all the way up to that part like I would have. And so I called him at 10 and I asked him, like at 10, I started crying again. At first, I just put it out of my mind because that was like at 5 o'clock in the morning when I got up, 6 o'clock in the morning when I was having these thoughts, like before meditation. And then after meditation, I got up, I got the dogs out, I did the shvaganda, I got my son out to school, I uploaded that video, I did a whole bunch of housework, I cleaned a whole bunch. I did that ashwagandha like that. I didn't peel it all the way. It's like a big job. It really, and also my elbow hurts, so it was like painful for me to do it. Um, and then in the afternoon, I didn't even know if I was going to go to the hot springs, but I ended up going. And I think somewhere in me that I did know that I was going to go. And then I saw what I saw. And so I feel like, oh, so I called him at around 10. And he said, I just got back from a night shift because they called him in, they drafted him. And he said, I just got in from a night shift from all night and I'm visiting a friend and then I'm planning on going to sleep. And he said, but why? And I said, I just wanted a hug. And he said, okay, well, I'm at my friend's house. And why don't we say you come over in 45 minutes? And I said, okay, so that'll give me time to shower and I'll get, dressed and ready and I'll come. And so in the shower, I started feeling like the joint I rolled last week. Like, why am I doing this? Is this something that I really want to do, or is this something that I'm doing because like spiteful? Is this something I'm doing because I'm feeling really hurt and bad and this is going to like make me feel better? Or is this something that I'm doing because of the pleasure and because I want to? And I felt like I was going to be consoled. And then in my mind, I was like, okay, so what? So you're going to be consoled. But something in my emotion didn't let me move. So I sat here on the side of the bed after my shower for like a half an hour. I took a really quick shower and then I sat here on the side of the bed for like a half an hour contemplating. Like, do I call him and tell him I'm really sorry that I'm not coming? Because I always feel like so flighty with him. He always calls me flighty. And so then I'm thinking, well, or do I go over and then I can have coffee with him and I can tell him that I don't really feel like doing it. I don't know, like, and then I thought, well, if I do go over, then we're liable to end up because my Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde were pretty darn even in my mind. So, Mr. Hyde might have taken because I was thinking to myself, like, that's a total out. It's just like smoking a joint. It's allowing yourself, it's going over to get a quick fix. It's not you're going over because this is somebody that you're in love with. It's doing the exact same thing that Mister's doing. It's the exact same thing. Like it's like falling into your indulgences because there was no match there. Like, okay, I'm not saying he can do whatever he wants. Like, but looking at it, it looks uneven. It's like, dude, really? Like, and I don't mean anything. I really don't mean anything bad. Really. Um, it just looked like a bulldog and chihuahua. That's what it looked like. A bulldog and a chihuahua. It just it just didn't look right. And he like forget that she looked so young. He looked so old next to her. He looked like an old man next to her, which he usually to me looks really young and vibrant. He looked like an old man next to her. That's why it looked funny. That's why it looked like indulgency. Like, dude, really? You hold yourself in this high place and I held him in this high place. Well, I sure do feel a lot more let go on this twin flame journey. Let me tell you that. I sure do. I feel like. So, anyway, so with my friend over here, right when I was like debating what I'm going to do, and I was leaning towards calling him and telling him that I'm really sorry because he was saying he was going to go to sleep anyway. And I know that he pulled an all nighter. And I did they're like if he was really tired, there wasn't time even for like if he was gonna get tired, it would be like, okay, I want to go lay down and then we would lay down and I would tell him that I would leave when he falls asleep. Like I already knew where it was going. It wasn't like planned a week in advance and we're going to have this romantic. It was like a booty call. There's the word. There's the word. There's the word. See? There's the word. I'm not going to say not one more word than that. That's the word. So it felt like wrong reasoning for me. And it also felt not fair to him because I know that um, even though he's let go and he's not jealous, I know that I called off the relationship, and I think I know that he was willing to be in it all the way. He was willing to for us to like be together, like commitment. He was ready for commitment, and I wasn't. That's why he calls me flighty. And then after him and I broke up, like back and forth a few times, he felt, and he told me because I told him how I felt like with the twin flame thingy, that I always have like this guillotine above my head, like ready to chop my head off. And I feel like I went up a new step. I don't feel like that anymore. I kind of feel like, okay, we're equals. Okay, I like, let me wipe your butt, dude. Like we're equals. Like I saw your dirt. Don't play all holy and mighty with me. Like I saw your dirt, dude. I saw your dirt. Okay, so part two is I saw your dirt. Anyway, so I ended up, right when I was sitting on the edge of the bed, he ends up calling me and he tells me, listen, I forgot because we had set up for 45 minutes. And then when he called, I saw that it was already like I was supposed to be there in 5 minutes or so, like 7 minutes, something like that. And he said he forgot that he had a business call at 11, that if I want to come, I'm welcome to come. And then he'll take the call. And I've sat through those calls before. I will say no more. But I could come and I could sit and wait for him to be done with the call if I wanted to. And I told him, listen, you're tired. You pulled an all-nighter. And I was also already thinking to myself that I was coming for the wrong reasons. And I was thinking, I was already like questioning myself about it and thinking that it's like not right to come for the wrong reasons. And he was like, he's such a sweetheart. I felt like such a relief afterwards. And just knowing that I could trust him, trust his like decency. He's a really decent man. I have good taste in men, I must say. Even if they're just like Greek gods, one night stands. Like it wasn't like I didn't even know anything about him. I could tell he didn't have any spiritual, like he wasn't the spiritual dude kind of guy. He was very like, I don't know, almost like he was like gruff. He was like Mr. Mechanic dude, but like a little more clean cut, that you could tell that when he dressed, he would dress really sharp. He looked like Playboy. He looked like Playboy. He did. He looked Playboy. He totally looked Playboy. All he needed was a ribbon and then smack that, right? Okay. You can see why I enjoy smoking it. Smoking it, it's like it like I crack my own self up. I crack my own self up. Like I can totally like keep myself like I'm sitting by myself in my room. Look how well I'm keeping myself company. And I'm cracking my own self up. It's been, I said, this one's already 40 minutes. Maybe I should make a part three. No, I should finish up that story and then be done with it and go get myself something to drink and something to eat. Oh, so when my mom called, she called and asked me how my pudding turned out. And I told her I didn't make it yet. And she said, well, if you want, I have some ready made over here. You can come over and get some, and that it's vegan. I was like, really? See how divine guidance works? Divine guidance just brings you the pudding at the end of the evening. Like, and this video also, all the things that I'm realizing, and then to like the let go is like the let down. What you call it. Like, really, dude? It's like it's a big one. It's a big one. It's a big one. And then I get like chocolate mousse at the end of the evening, like how and a visit with my parents. How is all that? That is like the perfect like cherry on top of this evening. And so anyway, I was saying that with the smoking, when I got home, I was feeling like my smoking I, I get to decide. It has nothing to do with him or not with him. If I feel like I want to smoke because I feel like I can't handle it, then I'm going to smoke. If I feel like I want to smoke because I need to process something and I can tell that the emotions hit me, but there's no comprehendo, like nothing comprehending whatsoever, just like clunk and ouch, just like getting into me, and then I could feel it, and then your mind goes bzzz, and you play the motions, and then they went outside, and the woman that was stayed in there, like she's always seen us in there together. She's seen us in there together a lot of times, and I think that she thought we were a couple. I'm pretty sure. So I think that she saw the whole situation and she was like, "Oh, what's going on here?" And then all of a sudden, she was buddy buddy with me, like because she's seen me in there a lot of times, and maybe she felt like I have this um. See, this is the thing. He's Arab Muslim, and he writes me every day. He writes me every day. He's like my quarter, except for I don't meet with him. I like disappear on him. I think he's going through like he's getting exactly what he needs because he keeps on coming back, and I keep on pushing him away. And then and like if he'll do something like a little bit dirty, like he'll send me a little bit of a dirty picture or something, and then I'll shun him for 2 days. He'll go in and he'll erase it really quick, and then I'll shun him for 2 days. And like 2 days later, he sends me, "Mommy," like a little like, or sometimes if it's like if I really get after him because he sent me something that was like he can feel the energy. It's like doing like this to him. So we have this dynamic going on. And he's getting exactly what he needs. Like I'm a fantasy for him. There's like no way. Like, dude, I have 4 kids. He's 40. He keeps on telling me how he's 40. I'm 47. 40 doesn't feel right for me. And I don't think that he's married yet. And so maybe I should just I have this like go back and forth if I should just tell him to like let him off the hook completely or let him practice his like I guess I'm just gonna go with what I feel. I guess if he gets out of line, or like today he was a bit much. Today he sent me a text message like every like the morning, afternoon, and evening. I wake up to a text message from him. He's getting out of line a little bit. Maybe I need to put him back in line. But anyway, this guy I met him 7 years ago. 7 years ago. Wow, it's crazy how time. I was working down. I was managing a tourist shop, and he was a bus driver that would come with this with the tour guides. So every time he would come in there, he was like he turned into butter next to me. He was like, "Oh," like butter. He would just turn into like butter next to me. It was so cute. And then he was like really young because that was like 7 years ago. So he must have been what 33. 34. So like last night he sends me a picture of himself, right? And then I saw it. I didn't respond to him. And so then he erases the picture. And so then this morning he sends me, "Good morning." And so I sent him back, "Good morning. Why did you erase the picture?" And he goes, "Which picture?" And then he goes, "Oh, that picture." So he resends it to me. He said, "Because I thought it wasn't a good picture." I said, "No, it's an excellent picture." And I'm sure that that sent him. He's so cute. He's so funny. But I think that he's getting exactly what he needs. He doesn't need to meet me. I'm a fantasy for him. I'm not what he needs. I think that there's some kind of lesson that he is getting from it. Or like when he'll ask me for a picture. Sometimes I'll send him a picture. Most of the times I don't. It depends on how I feel. Or I'll ignore it for a long time. And then like go in and see it and then not answer a lot of times. But I don't do it to be mean. It's just like something in the dynamics. That's what he pulls out of me. It's like it's like that's what he pulls out of me. I think that it's like an automatic. I think that he pulls out of me exactly what he needs. It's almost like that's the game with him, and he keeps coming back for more. He keeps coming back for more. I think he likes that being just a little bit like with my nose just a little bit up in the air towards him, like, okay, he has to really work for it. But he never gets it. Or like he'll write to me, "I want to kiss you." And I'll ignore him. Like I won't give him anything. And I think he just loves it. And then he'll erase the "I want to kiss you." But he writes to me that he loves me. I should write to him that I'm his fantasy, that I'm a fantasy. But I truly think that I think that he loves what he gets from it. It's like exciting. It's exciting for him or something. I think he thinks he loves me, but I think it more answers some kind of need that he needs. Some kind of like he's getting some kind of lesson in it, like strengthening up. Because at the beginning, okay, so I told you it was like 7 or 8 years ago, but in the beginning, when I think it must have been like 8 years ago and he would come to the store like once in a while. And he would just be like, and he kept on saying hi, and he finally got my number for the store, of course, but he used to like he would write me and I would a little bit shun him, and then he wouldn't write me for like months, and then he would write me, and then we would write back and forth a little bit, and then I would like not shun, but kind of ignore him or tell him no about something. I think that I'm pulling his strings. I'm like pulling him out of shape. Kind of like what's going on with me and the twin flame journey, where I'm getting stronger as I go. So he keeps on getting rejected and rejected and rejected, but he's getting stronger as he goes. Because it used to be like he would fall away, even for a couple of years, he fell completely away, and then all of a sudden he came back. And then he fell away for another couple of years, and then all of a sudden he came back. It was like either he was in relationships during those times, or he was building, he got hurt, and okay, then close off that door. But then a few years down the line, he like feels stronger. He's like, okay, I'm going to go back to this again. But I know that he really has like a draw to me because he hasn't let me go for like 7, 8 years. He's still going, but it's also fun. Mm, I don't know. Like today, it was too much. So that's why I'm saying like that naturally it'll fall away when it's time for it to fall away. I'll push him because today I was already feeling like it. Because today I was going through all of what I was going through, and my elbow hurts, and everything I was going through. And he keeps on writing, and he was like writing me all day, and asking me for a picture, and telling me that he loves me, and then writing something, and I could see what he write like send me a picture of a cat and ask me if I want the cat. And I said, no, I have two dogs. So he wrote me something after that. I didn't even go in yet. But I saw it pop up on my screen that he wrote me something about the cat that gets along with dogs or something. Yep, my dogs, I don't want any more animals. I'm my kids and my animals are all like slowly growing. And then I'm going to be a free woman one day. light and free. So I feel like all of this was divinely guided. This was all worked out. This was all pre-played. This was all like all of the different things that happened along the way for me to find my strength. Like even today, turning down what I turned down, like I had the option and it was a good option. It would have been really nice. It would have been really nice, but it was like a cop out. It felt like it was a cop out. It felt like it was going over and getting a fix, getting I was rejected, felt rejected or something, or felt like hurt, more like hurt, and go and get like an ego boost. And I'm really proud of myself about that I didn't go because it was set up and I called it off. It was just kind of like the joint last week. And then I'm really proud of myself about the joint tonight because it felt right to me. It felt right. And it was the right decision to do. It was the right decision because I'm able to work all this out. Before I smoked, I was just like, it was like a bottle that just got filled but to the max. And it wasn't like the processing machine was turned off. So there's like no processing going on. So it was just like either stuffed feeling, and now it's like my mouth is a motor, is a processing motor for my emotions. That's what it feels like. Okay, so if you held in till now, bravo, bravo. So if you held in from now, then like give me a sign. Well, let's say like write me in the comments write me in the comments. Let's do something funny like just write me in the comments 8. Like eternity. That way we also have like a energetic connection because if you've watched me until now, then you're really with me in this. Like you're really into it. Like you understand what I'm going through. So and I've gone deep. Like on these videos, I've gone deep into my inner workings, like working things out. And this is a big one. I feel like this is a big step. And I feel like him going to Vipassana next week is perfect. It's perfect. It allows me just to, like, okay, I have my kids this weekend. Also, when I smoked, I felt like the first things that came up to me were like, I've been running after superficial things. The first thing that came up to me was like, oh, my kids are the most important. My kids and my family, they're the most important. Like I've been like running after a place that it wasn't even in my ball game. Like I'm not gonna that's not even my ball game. It's like I was wasting my time or something almost. Or like now I see what's really important, and my kids and my family, and you know not somebody that's running after girls. It's not, it's not my style. And I'm certainly not going to go and play on that playground. Like there's nothing in me that comes up as feeling like jealous. There's something in me that comes up like feeling like, but I don't even know about that anymore. That's starting to move. Like about him being intimate with somebody else. I feel like there's a lot of movement going on right now in that. Like all of a sudden when I realize what moves his boat, I'm not that. I don't want to be that. So there's no sense in it. I'd rather hear updates about his mother. It feels more like home, like family, like home. Not that I have to worry about what he's doing. That's like, go do what you want. And I'll do what I want. Like today, I didn't go. I checked with myself. Is it really what I want? Is that really what you want? Like, are you building something? There's a question. Are you building something? It was a booty call. And it would have been me doing the same thing that I was upset about. So it would be below my own standard, because if I'm thinking that's not standard for me, then I would have been doing below my standard. Like, not, it would have been a complete place of pure, like, um, trying to make myself feel better. And then on opposite, I feel really good about smoking today. I feel really good about making that decision on my own, about not even thinking what is he going to think or what isn't he going to think. It doesn't matter what he thinks or doesn't think about it. It's how I feel in my spiritual awakening, and me feeling like this is really what um that I really did what was right today by me. Like, I can't tell him out of one side of my mouth, you're like, dude, what are you doing? But me doing the same thing, but it's not quite the same thing, right? Not quite the same thing. But going and getting a quick fix, going and getting like feeling weak and trying to console myself with something from outside of me. With the smoking, I don't feel like it's consoling. I feel like it's having to process. So using it as a tool, as the medicine that it is, to process what I went through today. And I'm really happy because this is processing emotionally. Now, I don't know what's going to be tomorrow or the next day, or I'm sure that this is going to have some backlash because it's like a big one. And when you get big ones, they always have like freaking backlash. They always have like an emotional crash. And it's good that we're coming into the weekend here pretty soon. And then he's going to go for a weekend Vipassana, because I feel like I'll be set free. I'm not going to be running. I'm just going to be sitting here. I'm not going to be doing a lot. This month is kind of tight anyway because I started paying off some debt. And so I'm just going to be sitting here and figuring out work and maybe finish my site, and maybe it'll rain a little bit so I can be really grounded. I'm just going to be processing this whole thing. And we'll see, maybe some more videos will come up from the whole processing thing. My hand really hurts. Okay, well, I'm going to end this here. I'm all talked up. My mouth is dry. So thank you for watching. I appreciate it.